Just want to thank Danae. We are not public speakers, we're correctional officers, and he's doing an excellent job, so thank you. I'm the Ministry Employee Relations Committee Chair. I've been doing that job for a while now, and part of that job is to go around and represent every local in the province for probation and parole, the community side of corrections, and the institutions. We have approximately 29 institutions in the province, Brockville and St. Lawrence being 2 institutions, according to the union. So we're proud that in Canada we are the biggest component for corrections, and we lead the country when it comes to addressing issues. So we're in contact with British Columbia, Newfoundland, right across the country, and we're all dealing with the same issues, and we have a strong voice. Every year we meet here in September at the Police and Peace Officers Memorial. Across the country, everybody comes together and we share issues, common issues, and bargaining issues. Workplace, health and safety issues. And part of that is to talk about how corrections is in a crisis. In Ontario particularly, we have the highest level assaults in the country, inmate on inmate, and inmate on staff. And it's getting worse, it's not improving. One of the things that we achieved in accomplishing to address that issue is to get personal protective equipment issued to everybody that works inside the walls of an institution. And we know that from working there as correctional officers, that every day in this province, somewhere, 2 correctional officers are being assaulted. So today I'm going to get 2 more emails telling me 2 more people got assaulted today. I deal with that every day. And as a local president, when it happens at our work site, it's something that we have to struggle with. And Sean's going to speak a little bit about the assaults on staff when he comes up. But we have an agreement that was signed off last September. It took us a long time to negotiate that. It still has not been put in place. And yesterday, after a particularly rough day, I went on a bit of a rant. And I wrote an email, and it's been posted up on social media. And I sent it to the minister. We have an agreement in place for pepper foam, same as what a security officer would have in the mall in Milton, where I live. We have an agreement for handcuffs to be carried and issued mandatory for every officer working inside. We've had that agreement for almost a year, and we're still waiting for it. There's only one institution in the province that's been issued that equipment. That's the new Toronto South Detention Centre. Because it's high profile, the whole idea of having that is to protect ourselves, of course, but also to protect the inmates. Inmate on inmates assaults, like I said, are the highest in the country. They're approximately over 4,000 for last year. We're still waiting for disclosure. The stats that we keep and the emails that are given to us on a daily basis do not add up to the numbers that are shown in the Ontario Ombudsman's report that was released on Monday. Those numbers are incorrect. They've started changing the way they collect their stats. They're collecting stats by occurrence. So if 2 inmates are fighting, that's calculated as 1 assault. If 8 inmates are fighting 1 inmate, again, that's 1 assault. And it's the same thing on officers. When inmates attack and assault and injure officers, it's usually not 1-on-1. It's usually 5-on-1, or as the other day at Toronto South, 3-on-2. That happens, and that's calculated as 1 assault. So the numbers are skewed to keep them down artificially. And that's not something that's new for us. That's being done right across the country. We, each local president, is standing up and letting everybody know that the system is out of control. It's in crisis right across Ontario. This is the last planned event before summer starts. We get into summer. We've had these barbecues and public information sessions right across the north, from Kenora, Fort Frances, Monteith, Thunder Bay, Central North. We've had one in Elgin Middlesex Detention Center in London, and we've had one at my institution at Vanier Center for Women and Maplehurst Correctional Complex in Milton. And now this one. This is a concerted effort. We're standing up, and we want our voices to be heard. So after I sent off this letter last night, I've been invited to have a meeting with our Deputy Assistant Ministers, all three of them, and our Deputy Minister, and the Minister has reached out and says he wants to talk to me. So we're moving this issue forward until we have the equipment. It's been bought, it's been ordered, it's locked up somewhere here today in a building, okay, and they're not giving it to us. Most of us are already trained to use that equipment. We use it on a daily basis when we go out to the community. It's okay to keep the community safe, but what happens inside, the ministry doesn't care about because it's behind big walls and the fence, and nobody's looking in through the windows. Whatever happens in there stays in there. That's their attitude. And we're here today, just like Dene said, to stand up and be heard. One of the things that we put together as a division for corrections is new directions. We want to see things change, and this is how we see things going forward. So out of this document, we put together a pamphlet today. There's more over on the table. They're in French and English. And we want everybody to use this going forward as our mantra on how we want to see things change. On the back, it lists 6 main points. Public safety and infrastructure. That's part of our title, Ministry of Correctional Services. The first part is community safety. If we're not safe inside, how do we expect to keep the community safe? Infrastructure. Most of the jails in the province were built around the 1930s and 40s. We have institutions, jails that are still open that predate Confederation. The one in town here is used as a hostel, and they have tours for tourists to go through. A haunted tour. I've been on it. It's good. I've also been in a real jail that was built in 1836, Brockville, and it's no tour. It needs replaced. Not closed, it needs replaced. There's a need for it in that community. Probation and parole is underfunded. The infrastructure for the jails is underfunded. The staffing is underfunded. The management of the institutions, the resources that we do have, are not resourced properly. Dene said, in the back of the jail, if you have time today, go and take a walk around the back. You can see through the fence where they're working. They're building trailers to house extra food for when they lock us out during the upcoming round of bargaining, to house managers, and to house scabs inside the fence where they're protected, not from the inmates, but from the officers that are most likely going to be standing out the front of this jail. Inmate supervision is the main point on, another main point on here. It's a joke. We're overcrowded and we're understaffed. And the staffing levels haven't changed in over 20 years. We're still operating at the same levels that we were when I started in 1987. They haven't changed. And those numbers that are there on the floor, we're running short every day. Like Dene said, we're barely able to function, only providing essential services, meals, medication, and make sure everybody gets out to court. That's what we're doing. The other point on here is the provincial correctional bailiffs, which are part of corrections. We transport inmates across this province to jail. Other provinces do that and more. They take them to court. They do court security. They enforce provincial bylaws and things of that nature. That is something that we should be doing. You want to talk about saving money for the province? Why are we not doing more? So, those are the things that are in this pamphlet. We have another document that speaks to it in a broader fashion. Please ask for it if you're interested. This is our mantra going through the summer. And when we get to the bargaining table, we've got things in place that we've gotten more responsibility, we've gotten more tools, and we want to be held as professionals. I'm proud to be a correctional officer, and I'm proud to be here today representing the province for correctionals. Thank you.